The study of human development educates about the changes a human being goes through from birth to old age. The child development is an initial stage of those changes which have been divided into three major domains. One, physical development, two, cognitive development, three, social emotional development. As per John Piaget, we can divide the child development into four stages. Number one is infancy, which is from birth to 2 years. Number two, early childhood, from 3 to 5 years. Number three, middle childhood, from 6 to 10 years. Number four, early adolescence, from 10 to 12 years. Many early theories have focused on the impacts of natural selection of small inherited variations on child's development. However, as per modern theories, the value of nurturing and the environment has been ignored by the early theorists. As per Maria Montessori, infants are greatly influenced by the world around them. So it is very important that the educators do focus on their learning environment so that the children can learn and grow effectively. The characteristics: from birth to 2 years, child starts to sit, stand, and walk. Their eye and hand coordination gets better. They start babbling few words. From 3 to 5 years, the child learns various motor skills like running, climbing, and holding things. The children can feed and dress by themselves. From 6 to 10 years, the body of a child gets taller and children can play rule-based sports. They also start losing baby teeth. From 10 to 12 years, the puberty begins at this stage and the body starts to grow more rapidly. Second domain is cognitive development. As per Piaget's theory, cognitive development represents the mental understanding and knowledge which is based on the activities that are not physically present and have not happened yet. Piaget has divided this development into four stages. One is sensory motor stage from birth to 2 years. In this stage, child tries to explore the world by touching, smelling, and throwing. Number two, pre-operational stage. From 3 to 5 years, the children become ego-centered and are able to understand the symbolic functioning. Number three, concrete operations. From 6 to 10 years, children can manipulate the physical things as per their logic. Number four, formal operations. From 10 to 12 years, the child can handle and manipulate the abstract things. The characteristics of this development: from birth to 2 years, child can remember the faces and voices. They can express their feelings of hunger and pain. They can drink from a cup and eat with spoon. They develop separation anxiety during this period. From 3 to 5 years, children become more independent. They get toilet trained. They can make up their own stories and can play characters. From 6 to 10 years, children can read and write independently. Their conversations are more logical and reasonable. From 10 to 12 years, children can think beyond the physical world and they indulge into risky behaviors. Third domain is social emotional development. In this one, we will discuss the Erik Erikson's theory, which is very similar to Edmund Freud's theory. However, Erikson has elaborated Freud's theory and divided the psychosocial development into 8 stages, which are very correlated and connected to each other. In these stages, Erikson talks about the trust an infant builds on his, her, or her caregivers. That trust later on gives the child to take initiations, which creates an industry. From the actions done in past, the individual starts building on identity, and that identity helps to build relationships with others. At the middle age, people feel the responsibility towards society and to next generations, which develops the sense of integrity by the old age. Characteristics: from birth to 2 years, children develop relationships with the people around them and start expressing their emotions. From 3 to 5 years, they become more aware of their surroundings and show empathy towards others. They understand that different people behave differently and they attach their emotions according to those behaviors. From 6 to 10 years, they learn how to control their emotions and become more responsible in their actions. They get attached to their peers. From 10 to 12 years, the relationships they have become more emotional. They start comparing themselves with their friends. They can have serious arguments with the parents and friends. Diversity, its impacts and implications. As we know, every child has a different family structure and has a specific cultural background. Some children come from single parents family and from small families, while others belong to big and extended families. This variety in backgrounds have great impact on children's behavior and on their physical and mental development. The culture is something that gives a unique identity to an individual. For example, a child who is grown up in an immigrant family would have a home language and also would have a different lifestyle from the native child. As an educator, we need to understand and respect these diversities. We should focus on every child's strength and should support them in the field where the child lacks. We can choose some activities which are based on different cultural customs and behaviors so that the children can learn and respect the others' lifestyles. We can seek advice from caregivers while handling difficult behaviors and also can seek professionals' advice where required. We should have the knowledge and understanding that how the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander have a very spiritual culture, and the children who belong to this dynamic diversity have been provided with the equal opportunities of learning. As an educator, it is our duty to make the children feel the sense of belonging.